This question involves percentage decreases and increases over consecutive years. I think with questions like this, it's worth drawing a little diagram, a little timeline to show yourself exactly what the story is being told in the question, and then you can start to put together the pieces for your method and therefore your answer. So we have a house that is bought in 2018, so let's just draw a little house. This is 2018, and all of these times are the start of the year. So this is the start of 2018. And by the start of the following year, so after 12 months, so now we have the start of 2019, the house has lost 15% of its value. And then we carry on our timeline and we get to the start of 2020, and we continue on for another year until we get to the start of 2021. And over that period of both from the start of 2019 to the start of 2021, so over that 2-year period, the house increases in value X percent. So it's X percent this year and X percent next year. Now, we need to look at this really as a decimal rather than as a percentage or a fraction. It will make more sense as we work our way through. So what I'm going to say is that if I am subtracting 15% here, I'm multiplying by 0.85. If I'm subtracting X percent, sorry, if I'm adding X percent for the next bit here, I'm going to say my multiplier is just X as a decimal, okay? So it's not quite the same as the X percent added on there. It'll become clear hopefully as we go. So if for example, I was adding 10%, my X at this point will be 1.10. If I was adding 20%, my multiplier would be 1.2. So X in blue here represents the multiplier for each year, and obviously I'm multiplying by X again for the second year because it says it's the same increase and over that period of time. Now, it says in the question that over the 3-year period, so all of this, I am adding 2.85% overall. So that is after my 15% discount and after my adding on of my percentages twice, my overall is adding 2.85%. So what does that mean? That means that I'm ending up with, I start with 100%, that's the value of the house at the start of 2018. At the end, I've added 2.85%, so I have a house that's now worth 102.85% of what it was worth in the beginning. Now, that number there as a decimal multiplier, well, that would be multiplied by 1.0285. So if I knew my original price, multiplied by 1.0285, I would get to my price at the start of 2021. So this calculation here, multiplying by this, is equal to this, followed by this, followed by this. So that's what I'm going to write down. I'm going to write down 0.85 multiplied by X, multiplied by X. It's the same as just multiplying by 1.0285, or simply 0.85 X squared equals 1.0285, where X represents the percentage increase, the decimal multiplier, the decimal multiplier for each of these 2 years. So I have an equation here with one unknown, so I can solve that equation. So working that through, let's make a bit more space in my diagram here. I'm going to say that X squared is equal to 1.0285 divided by the 0.85. So X squared is equal to 1.21. If I square root both sides, X is equal to the square root of 1.21 and X is equal to 1.1. It cannot be negative 1.1, but it would not work in this situation because we know that things are increasing. And 1.1 is equivalent to 110%. That does not mean I've increased by 110%. It means I have 110% of my original starting value. So 110% in this situation just means my final percentage here. So what is the overall increase in value? It's 10%. So therefore we have a 10% increase in value, and that is across the 3 years. So as I say, when we're doing questions like this, it makes so much more sense to just draw a little diagram, get the story clear in your head about exactly what is happening, write on your multipliers, and then you should be able to equate things and build through to the correct answer.